Hi, Don Hoffman here, and welcome to the Kiosk Presents. We have some special guests here. Cindy Goss. Cindy, welcome to the Kiosk Presents.
Thank you. Welcome here.
And Colleen Babcock. Colleen, welcome.
Thank you very much.
And these guys are really special guests because they're from a very important organization called Catch a Falling Star. And they're here to tell us about a super critical seminar that's coming up at the Millennium Hotel. That's on Walden Avenue, that's Monday, October 29th at 7 to 9 p.m., and it's called Holding the Line. And Cindy, tell us a little bit about what this seminar is all about.
Working in the community and dealing a lot with family members who may have a loved one, dealing with an addiction. We find that the resources and information available to those family members are not necessarily there, and so many people end up falling through the cracks, and in some cases we end up losing lives as a result. So this program is for the families and friends of those who may have a problem to come to be able to hear a little bit from our special guest speakers, as well as finding the resources that may be available to them and their families.
That's great. So if they even suspect perhaps one of their family members is struggling with addiction, you'd recommend this is a great seminar to come to?
Absolutely. The speakers we have coming is Randy Grimes, coming from Florida. He's a former Tampa Bay Buccaneer NFL player, and he is going to share his life story and his struggles becoming addicted to pain medication while he played pro football. And he has such a heartwarming story that I'm sure many people can relate to, and so he wants to share his story as well so that he might be able to help other people. And Shannon Thompson-Smith is also a family therapist who travels internationally, and she works with families individually and in group sessions to help them to better understand the enabling and the codependency, which some of us in the field term as the love disorder, because we just love our families sometimes to death. And so they share some techniques that they may be able to do with their family members and linking them up to the resources.
I was talking to Colleen, and Colleen, the person who's struggling with substance addiction and drugs and all this, we're not talking about the TV type of depiction where it's a junkie who's been on Skid Row for 10 years with a needle hanging out his arm. Describe the kind of person that you seek to help.
Well, everybody, but it could be your child, it could be my child, it can be anyone. Drug abuse and substance abuse is not discriminatory. It will affect anybody.
Do you see an age category, or can you sort of give us a little bit of a description of the age range that you're used to seeing struggling with drug addiction? Well,
there is really not an age group, but we're finding that the age group of 15 to 27 is the one that has the hardest time with recovery. There's a lot of research that's gone into this that finds out that the frontal lobe of the brain on these kids is not fully developed yet, and they're having a harder time dealing with recovery and getting through. So this program helps them, not only the families with Shannon. She deals with the codependency and the enabling, and this is really something that is going to help the families a lot, just as much as Randy Grimes will help the people who deal with addiction.
Sure, and it's nice having Randy come and share. This is a guy who was on top, hit bottom, and recovered. Is that how you would describe it?
Yes, he talks about how he was able to control it for many years until it unfortunately became out of control and really just took over his life. And he will share a story that when he entered treatment, he literally crawled in on his hands and knees. Today, he's now a therapist working at a treatment facility, sharing his story with the goal of helping to save lives.
So there's hope beyond addiction, but you've got to get the information. You need to get the help. You need professional advice. Would you say that pretty much sums that portion up? You've got to start somewhere?
Yes, and some of the families that we work with on a daily basis, one of the biggest voids is the moment that they realize that they have a loved one with a problem, they don't know where to go. They don't know what resources are available, and oftentimes end up in an ER, and they're there for a couple hours, and with the goal of getting them admitted, and they're released after a couple of hours, and they're sent back home. So they don't have the knowledge base. They don't have the skill to know who else do I call, where do I go, who knows what to do, because most people don't know what to do. And so we're trying to fill that void by educating and letting them know that, you know, if you do get turned away at one place, there's always resources available, and it's just networking and finding those resources.
Okay, everybody, so this is the information many of you are looking for if you have a loved one struggling with, or you suspect is struggling with addiction. And it's the seminar is called Holding the Line. It is Monday, October 29th from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Millennium Hotel. That's 2040 Walden Avenue. And all you have to do is call this number, and you see it on the screen there? Isn't that beautiful? Okay, 656-8641 to register. They just need to know who's going to show and what, and so we can provide refreshments and all that. Make
Correct.
sure there's enough for everybody. Okay, so sounds like a very important thing to be at, and I kind of commend you ladies for the hard work you do and the lives you touch. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for joining us here on the Kiosk Presents.